Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We got it. We got
New 52 book.
it. Somebody clip this one.
This ain't that kind of movie, bruv.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Comics League Movie Night. I am Jared, and I'm here with Nick from the Phoenix Press. What's up, brother?
What is up? You know, I'm in the mood for a subpar follow-up to a really good movie.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking about Kingsman, The Golden Circle. And yeah, that pretty much sums it up because the first Kingsman was great. This one was, at best, okay. Definitely nowhere near as
Golden
good as the first
Circle? More like golden fecal matter, am I right?
one.
I could have used a lot worse words, just realized.
Yeah, but I appreciate you censoring yourself for my brand. But it's the thing about this is that this has the bones to be really, really good. That's what I mean. It had the potential. Let me put it to you that way. That's more so what I'm saying, at least.
This premise is okay. This premise is shakier than Michael J. Fox when he first gets up in the morning.
Okay, that was it. That was an interesting way to say it, but have not watched the third one. Is this the second one? Yeah, it's the second one. The first one's a prequel-ish. Third one is great.
Yeah, the third one's good. The first, okay. So
wait. I have to do one thing real quick. Snyder Queen is here.
We have been blessed by royalty.
Hey guys,
How are
how's
you,
it going?
Sammy?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Doing
You having a good
Greetings,
weekend?
my queen. Greetings.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, what were you saying, Nick? Go ahead.
So my rankings for all three movies are 1, 3, 2.
Yep, I agree with you on that one. Because the third one's like straight up a World War I movie. The second one is like, I don't know.
The problem I have is it's basically a commentary on drugs, but I feel like the movie doesn't really know whether it wants to be pro or anti-drug.
True. What do you think, Sammy?
I haven't seen the third one.
No, the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does it want to be pro drugs or anti drugs? I mean, I don't think the movie really wants to take a stance on it, to be honest.
That's the problem, though, in my opinion.
I think the movie just uses it as sort of like a vehicle for the plot.
And
yeah.
To be quite honest.
What's your opinion of the movie? What do you think of this movie?
I thought it was good. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was good. I enjoyed it. It's I think that in terms of movies, they are pretty funny and they are pretty good movies. But I don't look at them as like serious sort of spy movies.
Well, they are.
Yeah, they never were.
Yeah.
See, my thing is, I love the first one. The first one is like probably one of my favorite movies of all time. It's got like a rock solid theme. Like it knows what it wants to do. It is a really, really good movie. Like Kingsman 1 is like 9.59. This movie is very like shaky. Like I don't know.
Yeah. Real quick, by the way, Hunter says, what are your thoughts on the 10 series of DC anime? It's a desperate move. So there you go. But is this the one where the Kate Middleton type of character exists?
Wait.
Wait,
I'm not
what?
sure what you mean by that, but
Yeah,
yeah,
probably
referring to the
the
Swedish
princess of like this. Yeah, the Swedish princess. Like I
Is that
don't
the
know.
one? Wait, is that the same one from the end of the first movie?
If you win, we can.
Yeah, I got.
I don't
I
remember.
was like, oh, okay, so that's where she's from.
I will say this. At least the movie expands her character. Like they actually give her like kind of like stuff to do in this movie. Like she's not as much a plot device or like an object to be won like in the first movie. Like she's actually a character and involved in conflict. So I'll give that movie that. I'm like, okay, this movie is not the worst thing ever. It is still watchable. It's not like, oh my god, this is a terrible movie. It's just like,
It's no.
I hate
Go
the scene at the where they're at the music festival. Oh my god.
Yeah, that.
so
Wait,
fun fact,
Horrendous.
guys, I have some trivia for you.
Mhm.
So the scene where you have to use the finger thingy to put it up the
Yeah, we understand that. Yeah.
I'm trying to be vague here on
Yes.
purpose. Yeah. So Taron Egerton refused to do that scene,
Oh wow.
because
So-
obvious reasons.
Mhm.
So basically, the actress's husband is the stand-in.
That's
So-
why you don't see his face. Okay, I see that.
So yeah, like when it's like when the hand is doing the thing, that's her husband. So it's a little more like okay because it's her husband actually doing that scene, but it's still really cringy. Like it's like, do they really need to do that? Like, come on.
Yeah, and see, here's the thing about this. My thing comparing this to the first one, this one took the very explicit humor in the first one, and this movie essentially did the Thor Ragnarok to Love and Thunder thing, where it just ramped it up, and then ended up being a distraction, at least in my opinion.
Like, yeah, the first one had gratuitous violence, but the gratuitous violence was still in service of the plot. Like okay, they had the heads exploding, fireworks, God Save the Queen, but that was still, I don't know, I think it still kind of fit in with the plot, fit in with the movies. This movie, it seems like it just does stuff just for the sake of shock value, in
Even
my
with
opinion.
that, they brought Charlie
Yeah.
back in like the most weird way, and I'm like, why didn't this happen to anyone else?
Oh yeah, this is the other thing. Like I have no problem with the Statesman existing. Okay, first
Yeah.
and foremost.
Merrick.
Problem is they lived 11 miles away from the epicenter. Like everything, like all the stuff about and they just happen to have a gel that like cures head wounds.
That cures being shot in the brain. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and it's like it's just everything is just so plot contrivance, it just like, and they're like, okay, you basically destroy the Kingsman, and like, I just wish Lancelot would have had more to do because I liked her character. I would like to see oh, they developed a friendship. Like I would have loved to see Lancelot do more, but and like you had Gandalf as the leader. That's cool.
Like I agree with you,
Yeah.
but I just don't like. It's not something that I expect from this franchise. Like the
True.
movies
I mean, that's fair.
themselves,
Mhm.
on the like they remind me of like a guy's version of what he thinks a cool spy movie is.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, we
That's so
obviously see
true,
things-
though. That is really funny. It's like a bunch of frat guys in the middle of a party going, "Wouldn't it be great if this happened? If this happened?" That's so
Literally,
that's actually really
yeah.
funny, Sammy.
I mean, I'm just gonna chalk it up to Sammy. We just kind of see the movie differently, and both of our interpretations are valid.
yeah. The other thing that I think they wasted an opportunity is where they just essentially give Harry back his memories. Because I think the plot would have been better if they left him as an amnesiac and he has to like relearn how to do everything in a better way, or just not bring him back at all.
See, the other thing is like you had Channing Tatum, and this movie was marketed with Channing Tatum being in the movie.
Oh
He's
yeah.
barely in it, and they literally put the character on ice. Literally.
Yeah, it's a guy version of a guy's version of a spy movie is Jason Bourne. This is like Jason Bourne if written by James Gunn.
I mean, if you actually want me to go there, I was gonna say this is like a teenage boys version of like what a
Yeah.
spy movie is, but I didn't want to go that far.
That's
What?
fair.
But-
Go there, cook.
That's fine
Sammy, cook.
because
But
it's kind of true.
No,
Yeah.
for real, it is.
It's
Like,
and the sad part, the thing about it is, it's the moment this movie started to lose me is when like one of the like symptoms of the drug thing is you start doing a weird dance, and I'm like, okay, there were too many like real and actually Brucifer summarized it great. It's too campy. There's like what it's too much, like it went too far in the Adam West Batman territory.
One thing I will give this credit for is Julianne Moore
Mhm.
does a great job with her role.
Yeah.
Like she rides that line between like sweet and menacing. Like I gotta say, her performance as a villain, she is not a problem. She is not the problem of this movie.
She could actually play, I think, Granny Goodness if they bring
I
back
could
back
see
to the
that.
DC.
I could see that.
This see there you go, because Granny's supposed to be this like sweet but also very 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 sadistic person. You know what, that can work. Like when she had see, there were good parts in this movie, like when she makes the guy eat a hamburger where the meat is made out of a human being. And I'm like,
Soylent Green is people.
yeah, I'm like, that is 100% what Granny Goodness would do. Like, wow. But
Yeah.
again, I go back to like bringing back they brought back too many characters from the dead.
Harry is who you're talking
Yeah,
about.
Harry, sorry. In really, really, really stupid ways. Like, well, for one thing, Harry, but they brought back the dude with the robot arm, and I'm like, but your head exploded. And they kind of explained it like the shock from like the taser, like messed up the implant, but still, I'm like, it's a really hand wavy explanation.
They hand wave it, but like
they do that so much, though.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, they
He
hand
was
wave
shot
it,
in the head, but we arrived just at the nick of time with magic gel that can save your brain.
I will say the Charlie explanation, I kind of buy it because it's plausible enough. You know.
Well, yeah, we are dealing with a universe where they managed to have a destructive hand grenade and a lighter. So I guess okay,
like,
having gel that
he
that
did
actually
shock
people's
him.
mind.
Wait,
Right,
so the gel you totally buy, but the fact that of like an electrical charge shorted out the chip, which could actually happen in our world, is
No,
the
it's
one
the
that you draw
reverse.
the
It's
line
the
at?
reverse. No, Sam,
Oh,
we're talking
okay.
about the reverse or the verse because like
okay.
because he did shock him like right where the chip was, like right on the area.
Yeah,
like,
because I was gonna say, like, I buy the chip shorting out a lot more than I buy magical gel that can save your life.
Yeah, like the shock could actually happen. Like that is like 100% like that is scientifically kind of thing. I mean, obviously this movie is fast and loose with science, but you know, we gotta have draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, and I'm just it's more like, why did you bring all these characters back when really they don't play as much? I mean, I know they play a role in the plot, but it's like, okay. But the other thing is, like, I'm with Nick. I kind of don't see the problem with introducing the Statesman is, to Nick's point, and it's again, there's the problem with this.
They're
movie
a deus machina. The Statesmen are a deus machina. Like literally at the end, they're like, "We bought a distillery, a Scotch distillery in Scotland, and it's going to be Kingsman Scotch. We're bringing like just it's like they have all the tools, all the resources." Also, I just want to say this is not Pedro Pascal's best role.
No, so this is the.
Right, he dies like twice in the movie.
It's up next. Yeah, I know. And so you're telling me Mando dies twice? Wow. Yeah, it's because again, he's kind of wasted too. And actually, if you pay attention, they broadcast him being a bad guy like blaring in your face.
There's so many wasted roles. Like Halle Berry barely has anything to do. Like I already mentioned Channing Tatum. They have Chef Bridges in here, and he's great. He's great in his role. Don't get me wrong. What little he has is great, but he's in like 3 scenes.
And
it sucks. Halle must have been so excited because she was like appointed to the league or whatever it is at the end. And then she's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
cool! I'm gonna be in the third movie. You're gonna have a bigger role." Nope, we're doing a prequel.
Yeah, we're doing a
Oh, wow.
prequel that there's no way you could show up in because
Well-
it's in World War frickin' One.
The problem with the Kingsman is they literally just wrapped up the story at the end of the second movie. Because like remember at the end of the movie, they literally had the mirror scene again, but it was like, I see a man who has fulfilled his potential. They literally signaled the story is over.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's-
but I mean, like,
Mhm.
there is still potential for. There's like the same thing that Star Wars should have done with Episode 7. You should have the movie of rebuilding the Kingsman, like training up all the new recruits and stuff.
yeah, because you could have had Eggsy become the Harry character, and that would have been
Yeah,
at least better than. I mean, you could have still continued on that story. Weren't we also supposed to have gotten a Statesman movie at one point?
Yeah, I think that was talked about.
And I'm like,
I think so.
why though? Because they don't. All that they are, to Nick's point, are a Deus Ex Machina, and there's
Like the Statesmen were mentioned in the prequel. Like when they showed like the president in like the White House, he talked about Statesman whiskey, you know. So like they did get a shout out, you know.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but again, it's like, but again, I'm like, why though? I mean, I get you're trying to create a franchise, but introducing characters that, I mean, were those characters very popular though?
I mean, the Kingsmen
You
were
can't
like
say Channing Tatum isn't popular. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't understand how if they literally were at a crossroads there where they could have branched that off into like Kingsman and Statesman like franchises where they could have another Kingsman movie resetting up that society. And then you've got the Statesman, you could continue it on like, oh, now we're doing like Channing Tatum and Halle Berry in a kind of
Jared. Oh, sorry, Sammy.
1 Jump Street kind of thing.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
okay.
Like
I
they
got
could have
a fun
easily
fact.
had that.
Sorry, I got a fun fact about 21 Jump Street, but I want to share. But Jared, tell me you wouldn't want to see a Statesman movie with Halle Berry, Channing Tatum, Jeff Bridges, you know, and whoever else they bring in. Come on,
That would have been actually kind of fun though. I'll give you that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Did you know that the 21 Jump Street movies, the original plan was for the third movie to be a crossover with Men in Black, like Channing Tatum, and like basically they're going to bring back Will Smith and Kay, and like they're actually going to get recruited into Men in Black. That was the original plan, but when they
that
did
would
that,
be hilarious. Oh my god, that would have been
so
great.
21 Jump Street 3 would have been a Men in Black crossover.
I love that ending of, I think it was 20 of the sequel.
That would be
like
amazing.
All the different movies that they're in, like med school, honors school, or something like that. I love
all the
way they did
sequels.
that. Yeah, that was so good.
But yeah, the 20, like what would it be? 23 Jump Street should have definitely been like that Men in Black crossover. That would have been so funny. That would have been so good.
Yeah, like those people joining Men in Black, and then you like even if you just have Will Smith and he's kind of taking like the straight man role, like he's the K of this franchise, like that would have been so cool.
Yeah, because those two, the interaction between Channing and Jonah Hill in the Men in Black franchise works so well.
Yeah,
use it to make fun of the Men in Black franchise. But Brown Destroyer asked, has anyone here ever seen Banshees by HBO, a series protagonist there played the actor who played I think it means he's played by
Starr.
Yeah, so he's played by Reverse Flash. Interesting. I had to.
It was me.
I haven't seen that, but I haven't seen that.
It looks good. I haven't watched it either, but maybe I'll check that out.
I think I saw the trailer the other day because someone was talking about it.
By the way, Reverse Flash could totally kick Homelander's ass.
Oh yeah. See, my theory about the boys is that Homelander is not as powerful as he projects. That's just an image, and he's actually relatively weak.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about Homelander. He is the most powerful in his universe. But when you compare him to all the other superhero characters, he is incredibly weak. Okay? But the thing is, he is the most powerful in his universe.
That's why what's kind of funny
Yeah.
is that the second fan edit I ever did was Homelander versus Zack Snyder's Justice League, and the first comment I got was, "This is not even a fair battle for Homelander." Jeez.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, he got his ass kicked. But Legion says part 2 was great. Didn't hold the shock value of the first or the death, but it excelled in comedy and hail yeah moments, country rotating. Yeah, I mean, I get that.
Oh, was that when he was singing when he was like
Yeah.
had his foot on the landmine?
That was so
the
contrived.
was
Like, I'm
funny.
sorry. That scene
That
was
was
so
funny.
contrived. It was
It
funny,
It was just
but
funny.
it was contrived.
Like,
It was.
hey Tevya.
I mean, Sinestro. Hey, what's up, Tevya?
I liked Merlin as well. Like I liked Merlin.
Mhm.
I didn't
Yeah,
want him
Mark's-
to die.
I mean, how can you not like Sinestro?
Well, yeah, exactly. You could say he overcame fear pretty well. So,
Yeah, he overcame great fear.
but yeah,
He's
but-
an incredible
Merlin, Merlin of Sector, blah blah blah. You have shown the ability to overcome great fear.
no, you have the ability to instill great fear. That's a special core.
It's crossover time. It's crazy crossover time. So, okay, headcanon.
Oh God, here we go.
Right before the explosion happened, okay, he got whisked away by the Guardians of Oa and got made a Green Lantern. But the shock actually ruined his memory, and when they were rebuilding him, it caused his skin to change. So he decided to call himself Sinestro.
Or here's another way they could do that, Nick. It's that he was actually Thal Sinestro the whole time. It's just in an ancient battle, he fell to Earth and lost his memories. And because he lost his memories, his skin tone changed. And then when he blew up, or blew up, air quotes, his ring finally reactivated. That's why you see a yellow flash when the explosion goes off. And as he's healing, to your point, he heals up and he gets his memories back. Zack Snyder can kick Hilar's ass. That'd be hilarious if the director came.
Zack Snyder can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Legion brings up a good point. Any Kingsman movie is better than all of MCU phase 4 and 5.
You know,
I'll give him that.
You know, I think it's time for the hierarchy of the boys' universe to change.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson shows up in the Black
No,
Adam
just
suit.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Just Dwayne.
Yeah, no. Dwayne shows up, but it's not Black Adam, but he's in a Black Adam Halloween costume and he beats up Homelander. That would be great.
Oh my God, yes.
It's strong. It's as strong as the first movie, no, but unlike Kick-Ass 2, the movie actually contained the same elements from the first film. Yeah, but here's the thing. Yes, it did contain a lot of the elements, but it kind of like heightened them a little too much, I think, in terms of Kingsman 2. Go ahead.
Yeah, if you like, if for anyone out there, if you like the movie, that's perfectly fine. We just have a difference of opinion, is all.
Legion.
I thought the first one was much better.
Yeah,
that I agree with.
Legion asks, anyone else is skipping Rebel Moon Part 2 and holding out for the real film to release? I don't want the second half spoiled before
Hell
seeing the
no.
first. I'm gonna watch Legion. No, we're gonna watch it, and by the way, all of us are gonna do a watch party on my channel for Part 2 release. We're doing that. So
Inject that stuff like I want Zach to just inject that stuff straight into my veins.
it's a Zack Snyder war movie. What more could you ask for?
I want to be given a scar.
Yes, well, of course, in the Gunverse, Peacemaker and Black Adam dance off, and then actually what happens is that after that dance off, Black Adam punches a hole in Peacemaker's chest because no one gives a crap about Peacemaker.
And then Star-Lord jumps up and is like, all right, I'm here for the dance off.
Yeah, and Star-Lord reveals to his Busha Gold the entire time. But I mean, so all in all, the thing about this movie, now actually, Nick, let's transition to this. List off some good things this movie does. Let's try that.
I mean, the action is still good, first and foremost. I
Robot
do
dogs.
like
Elton John.
How can you not like Benny and the Jet? Also, this led to Taron Egerton playing Elton John and Rocket Man, so there's that.
Oh, okay.
The fact that Elton John is just in the movie in general is cool.
He was
and
good.
he's great. F you,
Yeah.
Poppy. F you, Poppy.
Yeah, he was good. I like that. I'm fine with that.
like I've already stated, Julian Moore's performance, but also I will say I do like the creativity of the the Statesman's gadgets are like on theme, and I do enjoy like the creativity of it.
Yeah, of course the American spy agency has a bunch of cowboy stuff. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like, how did they get an American Bronco to the UK? Like, how?
You don't have to. Don't ask questions, Nick. This all falls apart if you ask questions.
Like,
Do you know what I was really surprised by? I just found
What?
out by
Go ahead.
looking on the Wikipedia.
Is
Argyle is part of this franchise's universe.
wait, what?
what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How?
Wait. You know what's kind of funny? The logos
That's
do look kind of
crazy.
similar. Oh god,
How are they connected though?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Does it say in the Wikipedia? Wait, a prequel film Kids was released, while a crossover film Argyle was released there. Apparently, wait, what? Apparently it is. Hang on.
I send you the
Kings-
link in the private chat.
Yeah. I'll check that out because that's actually really cool. If this is a secret, if this is a secret like prequel. Let me see. Yeah, in October 2023, Matthew Vaughn announced his plans to create a larger spy-themed universe through his Marv Studios, with that universe being interconnected and comprising the Kingsman franchise, the Argyle films, or film in this case, and an unnamed third franchise. His intention was to have the new upcoming films in each of the series culminate in a crossover in the future.
Apparently, there was a Kingsman Hit Girl crossover in development.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. By the way, on the film's
because
release,
Argyle
Mhm.
is a member of the Kingsman, apparently.
Yeah,
according
because it
to this
says on the
Wikipedia.
film's
That's
release,
cool.
it's mid-credit scene after displaying a younger Argyle portrayed by Lois Petridge being recruited by Kingsman, displayed a note on screen saying Argyle Book 1, the movie coming soon. In February 2024, Vaughn confirmed that the prequel installment is being developed with Partridge in the title role, while explaining that the actor will star as the real-life Argyle portrayed by Cavill in his formative years. So apparently that's a crossover I never saw coming.
Are they bringing back any of the Kingsman actors? Like, come on.
I don't know. They didn't confirm that, but they probably will. Hey, what's up, Throth? What?
So here's what I think they could do: is as they're rebuilding, they recruit Argyle because, like, I just think that works.
Yeah, and by the way, Brown asked a good question. Which gadgets are cooler, James Bond versus Kingsman versus Austin Powers? Well, Austin Powers had time travel, and that's automatically cooler.
Yeah.
James
What do you
Bond
think,
had
Nick?
exploding pens.
Austin Powers is so funny.
Oh, those are movies that you could not make today because there's no way that would hold up to Twitter. Absolutely. Wait, is Zack Snyder the most muscular director in Hollywood? He's certainly the most manly. I'll give you that.
I hear he grills a mean steak.
No, but yes, exactly. But it's also kind of funny. Whenever you see any other movie director become like swole, you can say Zack Snyder's the blueprint.
So like I was at a barbecue with Zack Snyder, and when he handed me my steak, I looked down and asked him, why does my steak say #restore the Snyderverse in it?
As it's like crackling on the grill, the crackle is saying, restore the Snyderverse, restore the Snyderverse. That would be so funny.
and then Zach, he's still on the grill. He turns back to me, sliker, and it says, I use the old ways.
Yeah, but Tevia says, I want the Hit Girl and Kingsman crossover because we got the story in Big Game adapting the comic. Here's the difference with that, Tevia, is that this is all stuff that Matthew Vaughn himself has done. And yeah, he could do Kick-Ass. It's just that the problem with doing like Big Game is that he hasn't done a Big Game movie. It's not like he's adapting all of just Mark Millar's comics. It's just like he's factoring in all of his stuff. So
let's pretend they do an Avengers.
I just got those Kick-Ass comics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually read a bunch of them when they were new. They're really good. But like, let's pretend there's an Avengers style crossover movie with all the Mark Millar movies. So like Wanted, Kingsman, Hit Girl.
Kick-Ass Angelina
I didn't
Jolie
see Wanted.
from Wanted because
Well, no. You also bring back James McAvoy.
yes, and then he shows up in a wheelchair.
But by the way, Angelina Jolie died at the end of Wanted anyway.
No, but I don't care if they can. The Statesman used that gel crap on her.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
Apparently, there's a machine out there where you can type or whatever you want to write on steak. We need that to get Zach to write Restore the Snyderverse on it. Dude, can you imagine we get a steak autographed by Zack Snyder?
And then I eat it.
No, we're not eating it. We're framing that. No, but
Yeah,
So that would be a mistake, brother. Dude,
I wanna
that's
eat
rotting
some.
meat. That would be a mistake.
no, but
Yeah.
Thank you. But here's what they're gonna do. Here's what happens, Nick. So Angelina Jolie is shot in the head and stuff, and that happens at the end of Wanted. Fine, but then what you don't know is that after McAvoy left, like immediately, the door to the outside opens, and then the Statesman showed up, almost as conveniently as they did in this movie, and put the gel in her head.
Oh my god.
The door opens and the plot armor runs straight on stage.
Exactly. Thank you,
No,
Sammy.
at this point, the door opens and Zack Snyder walks in.
With Mark Millar. And then Mark Millar goes, this would be a great idea for a comic one day. By the way, Sammy, did I ever tell you what Mark Millar wanted to do with Wonder Woman?
No.
Oh, God. All right. So, and this was not a serious suggestion. So, in the 90s, so they had like the death of Superman and like a Batman Nightfall with Batman having his back broken and all that stuff. So DC, of course, wanted to have like a darker, more like down to earth storyline with Wonder Woman. So Mark Millar suggested as a joke. It's not funny, but it's a joke. The R word of Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And I'm like,
That's horrible.
I saw this great tweet when he was critiquing Zach for saying that like Batman for the whole Batman killing thing. Someone put up the guy that suggested the R word of Wonder Woman is lecturing Zack Snyder on what heroes should and shouldn't morality. That's hilarious.
It is. No, but do you know what's funny? It's always the Snyder haters that are the worst, most deplorable people.
Yeah, I know. It's really, really, and they call us toxic. But anyway, but
I mean, the thing is, we're all just bots, Snyder bots anyway. So why does it matter?
yeah, we're all robots. I'm actually an artificial intelligence program inside the internet right now.
I am Snyderbot 0069.
Yeah, I'd rather be called a cringy bot than to be bullying and harassing and making fun of like sexual assault online. Like,
Yeah.
you know, but that's just me. You know, that's just
I
me.
know.
Maybe I'm weird like that.
See, the difference is a Snyder fan, when they meet someone who politely says they don't like the Snyderverse, their response is that that's okay, we can think differently, and they move on. When a anti-Snyder meets someone that meets a Snyder fan, whee!
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna play this clip that Zach said on Joe Rogan because this is ironic. Because here's the I know we're talking about Zack Snyder here, but you know what? Screw it. This is Comics League. We talk about him every minute. So first off, it astounds me how the same people who critique like CBR and all those news comics news sites who normally attack them for not reporting the actual truth of what someone said are believing like CBR when they take Zack Snyder out of context. And I'm like, you hypocrites.
They are though.
Yeah. So this is something that I wanted to bring up. And here's the thing. And Zach brought this up when he was on Rogan. Ironically, this is the clip. Right, hang on, I'm trying to bring this up. So this is what no one brings up. And by the way, the other things even Joe Rogan said, which is actually really, really interesting, is that Joe Rogan said, there's going to be toxic people in any community. Yes, there are toxic people in the Snyder community. Is that the majority? No. So everyone doing that is just committing a logical fallacy. But then Zach said this.
It's cool when, you know, it's been cool for me that when the fandom and the movie, like in the case of Justice League, they lined up, you know, where these these people were like, no, we're not gonna. There's a movie out there that we want to see, and it's around a struggle that we had as a family, and all of it sort of came together. I always say, like, people are like, the fandom was toxic or whatever. They were so angry to get the cut that they were like. I go, also, they literally, people's lives were saved by the money that those kids raised. Like literal, like lives. Real tangible lives were saved by that money that those kids that you would say are these toxic fans, they're also responsible for the saving of lives. And that's just real. You have to acknowledge it, because if you don't, like.
Yeah, that's what I object to. That the community is always being blasted, but literally never does anyone acknowledge the good that this fandom has done.
Yeah.
It
Like,
is
we have saved lives.
moronic, but that is why whenever anyone calls the Snyder fandom, what's kind of funny? What I like to do is that whenever yes, Tevi, he makes a really good point, but what's actually really interesting about it is whenever I see an account call the Snyder fans toxic or like make fun of them, first off, they always do so in a very, 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 very homophobic way. I mean, I've seen so many people throw around such slurs all the time. So that's the first thing. Then if you look at their Twitter bio, it's like, for instance, when I did in Sammy, I don't know if I don't think I told you this yet. So when Zach did the whole, when that whole Zack Snyder Batman thing picked up recently, I got into Twitter debates with people. And then I sent them, because what I like to do is that whenever people accuse me of not reading comics, I send them a picture of this. And then they go, oh, wow, maybe you should learn to read those. And I'm like, I have, except for like that shelf and that shelf, I've read every comic I own. So just because, and this is why I always tell people, just because I have a different interpretation than the comics that you do, doesn't mean I didn't read it, and doesn't make it any less valid. That's the fun.
But these
part
people
about
are just horrible, though. These people are just horrible. They will hit you with like the worst slurs you've ever heard in your life, with like all of these insults. You're not a DC fan, you don't like comics, blah blah blah. And if you do prove to them that you are in fact a DC fan by showing you the collection, they'll just deny it. And they'll just flat out deny your experience by just saying like, oh no, like you don't read them.
You probably have a bigger DC. Sorry, Sammy, I was talking over you. Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's fine. I was finished.
No, I do apologize. Go
ahead.
Jared, you probably have a bigger DC collection than most of these people.
Yeah, because and by the way, I'm not trying to like it's like say I have more than you, so my opinion is more valid. I'm just saying if you're accusing me of not reading comics, there you go. But Brad brings up a good point.
No, but the difference is you're not doing that though. You're not saying that your opinion is more valid. No. What you're doing is you're saying that your opinion is equally validated.
Yeah,
but they're the ones that are invalidating you.
Yeah,
all like when they say like, "Oh, you're not a real DC fan." You literally just point to your shelf. And they see the literal wall of DC comics. Yeah. Which, by the way, impressive collection, brother.
Right, thank you.
It's
and then what
copium on levels that is unmeasurable. It's just unmeasurable levels of copium from them.
Well, and I am the Lord of Comics, but they'll also point out that to screw with people. I have the action figures of Superman and Wonder Woman holding each other, and they'll be like, that's how I know you didn't read comics. And I'm like,
Keith.
That's a series that actually sold. So, and that's the other thing.
You literally have the stats to back it up.
Yeah, and what's hilarious is that the other thing that I really have an objection to is that a lot of and I encounter this with the Snyder community too, but it's like they don't care about sales, about what sells well for the company. They're all like, no, my way is better. And I'm like, but that objectively, the numbers show that your ways has not led to DC succeeding financially. And here's the thing. DC ain't a charity. It's a business. They have to take sales first. We still live in a capitalistic society. That's the way this works.
Are you saying we live in a society, Jared?
Where honor is a distant memory, isn't that right? Right. Honestly, every fandom, yes, they do have creeps. Yeah, exactly. Of course, they would deny it because they think that they are in the right, which clearly is not true. Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
again, I've always
Delusional.
tell people, yeah, you don't have to like Snyder's work. Just don't be an a-hole. That's it.
Yeah, like when
don't
Rebel
care.
Moon when Rebel
Mhm.
Moon came out, I met with two types of people that didn't like Rebel Moon. Okay, the
Mhm.
first off were the people who are like, "Yeah, I didn't like Rebel Moon," you know, and they acknowledge like, "Yeah, you like it, and that's fine," and they, you know, like, "Yeah, that is fine. If you didn't like Rebel Moon for whatever reason, that is fine," you know. And I've had people say that to me, and we've kind of just agreed to disagree. That's cool. That's healthy. But like the other thing is, and we've had entire YouTube channels go on about this, and they're just vulgar and they just disrespect the fans, you know, like,
Or they'll
can
call
hate
Zack Snyder a fascist for some reason. I'm like, where the hell are you getting that from?
like you
I'm
can
like,
say,
Oh
like,
yeah, 1 second he's fascist, then he's woke, then he's like, it's like, guys, pick a lane.
the only thing that Zack
Like
Snyder
pick a
is Zack
struggle,
Snyder.
for God's sake.
Yeah,
The only thing that
see,
Zack Snyder is Zack Snyder.
Yeah, the thing about Zack is that he's even said, I don't care if you take a political thing from my work. I'm just making good movies. If you want to do that, fine. But that's not my intention. His intention is to just make good movies. And I'm like, more directors should be like this guy. They wonder
let's be
why
honest,
I'm
You
always
make
so.
very good movies.
They wonder why I'm so defensive about Zack. Which, first off, I wouldn't be a DC fan were it not for Zack Snyder, because the Snyder Cut got me into all this crap. So I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think I would have been maybe like very casually, yeah, I would have just continued to like very casually like DC. Like, I like the Batman 89 movies. I liked I like the Reeves Superman. I like the Nolan movies. Like, I really like the Nolan movies.
Yeah,
So
see-
like I was already I was already like, where's the trigger?
The thing that I really appreciate about I'm sorry, I keep
Before?
trying to go reciting. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. Go on.
The thing that I really like about Zack Snyder is he brings people together. Like, if you look at the Snyder fandom, it's not a left-leaning fandom, it's not a right-leaning fandom, it's everybody. You have people from all walks of life, you know, and it's like people who would disagree on everything, but the minute they find out, like, oh wait, you're a Snyder fan too, and they start talking about Snyder's films, like, okay, we may be on opposite side of the spectrum, but you've got good taste in movies. You're all right. You know,
it's like in my experience, here's the interesting thing about it. It's almost like being in a secret club like Kingsman, because it's like I'll walk around. I can't even count how many times I've gone to the movies wearing a Snyder, wearing my ZSJL hoodie or something like that. Someone leans over to me and goes, "Restore the Snyderverse," and I'm like,
I mean,
okay.
Jared, I need.
Cool.
I think we need to talk about how we became friends.
Oh yeah, go ahead. You can.
Zack Snyder. Okay, Zack Snyder is literally the reason I'm here right now. Zack Snyder is literally the reason I'm friends with Jared. Jared, can you please tell the story?
So what happened is, and the first stream that Nick came on was just to promote 2100 Samurai. So I had on my ZSJL hoodie that has all the logos on the sleeves and everything like that. The minute I get on there, he goes, "Oh, that's a nice hoodie. I love that. I love the Snyder cut and all that stuff." I was like, "Yeah, this dude's cool. This dude's cool."
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like, literally, if it wasn't for Zack Snyder, I wouldn't be here right now. If it wasn't for Zack Snyder, I wouldn't have such great friends like Sammy. I wouldn't have such friends like JJheat, Taladia.
Well, if it wasn't for the Snyder Cut, I wouldn't have even made my account. You know.
And we're certainly happy you're here, Sammy. And Brown makes up a good point. Ben Shapiro is a fan of Zack Snyder. Sam Harris is a fan of Zack Snyder. Both are on opposite ends of the political spectrum. Somehow, Zack Snyder, even though he's one of the most controversial directors in Hollywood, undeservingly so, brings the weirdest, the people you wouldn't, to Nick's point, you wouldn't expect this much stuff.
So basically, Zack Snyder brings together the oddest bedfellows.
He's the great equalizer, is Zack Snyder.
Wait, he's Denzel Washington?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, the joke was there. I had to take it.
And again, you know, it's kind of the other thing I respect the hell out of Zack for is he has every reason to like bash people and say, oh, these fans just don't like my work, they're toxic people and everything like that. But even in the Joe Rogan interview, he was like, no, I mean, I think they sometimes go a little overboard with it, but he actually defended the fans being passionate. He's like, oh yeah, 100, I get it because I'm that way too. And I'm like, okay, because in the world of movie creatives blasting fans who don't like their work, it's a breath of fresh air for this.
And he said in the past that he likes to make those divisive movies and ignite those conversations. And really, it is those types of movies that stay in the public, like sort of in the conversation
I mean,
for years and
like,
years.
It's not like Zack Snyder doesn't trend on Twitter every other day.
Every other day, that restore the Snyderverse sells yesterday to Netflix. Every time I open up Twitter, something that ends in Snyder is trending.
So I guess you could say
but
Zack
even
Snyder
like
did his job well.
Even like outside of the hashtags and stuff, we have comic book movies that come out yearly, and they are almost forgotten about instantly, and everyone just goes back to talking about like Man of Steel, BVS, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Watchmen.
Which is why I don't
and the
think the
Nolan movies.
Gunverse will last, because what's most likely going to happen is that in the events the movies come out past Superman, because I just think Superman's going to be the only movie that's going to come out, if it comes out at all, and just be done with it. But in the event it does, like, let's take Superman. Superman will come out, people will talk about it briefly, and then it'll just vanish. Because look at how whenever Gunn announces or like shares something about Superman, it trends for like a day or so, and then it just goes away. Look at what happens whenever Zach posts literally anything.
I don't even think I see Gunn fans really talking about Guardians of the Galaxy much, to be quite honest. Like, that's his big comic book franchise. Even like the Suicide Squad, I barely see anyone talking about that positively. It's always in like defense.
Hell,
like, if
the
someone will call the
Batman,
movie mid,
the
and
Batman
that's the only
is barely
time they
talked
talk about it.
Yeah,
the Batman is barely talked about.
Undeservingly so, because that movie's actually really awesome. And
Nah,
that's the thing.
I kind of disagree.
Like,
on that
there's
one.
some
I see people
conversation
talking
with
about
the Batman, but it's kind of a murmur.
And that's the thing that's actually really interesting.
Wait,
is that
Sammy was going to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Sammy.
No, I just think maybe we're just in different circles, because I see that I see the Batman talk on my timeline quite a lot.
Okay.
Not as much as Snyder, but definitely like an incredible amount more so than Suicide Squad or the Guardians.
Yeah, because here's the thing. It's kind of interesting. I tried to watch through the Suicide Squad, and even I'm like, yeah, I like the studio cut of David Ayer's movie a lot more than this, because at least with the studio cut, it's more serious than that movie, and it's like, because I hate movies that curse every other word. I'm like,
what are we, some kind of Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm done. And again, and that's to my point.
I just think the whole movie's mid.
Yeah, true. But it's
like, it just the whole thing. Like, I don't know. I just hate it.
I love how the same people that say that that Suicide Squad killed the Justice League is disrespectful to DC. Wait, hang on a second. Are the same people who defend Peacemaker? Because if you want to talk about Suicide Squad being disrespectful, fine. So is Peacemaker.
Like,
100%.
I'm sorry, but I still maintain the Batman death scene is hugely inappropriate, highly disrespectful, and I hate it with a burning passion.
Well, Nick, my
Wait,
point
which
was
Batman death scene?
The one in the Suicide Squad game. But my point is, I see the same people who bash that defend Peacemaker.
Well, I don't.
It's just stupid. It's just stupid. Like, okay, I get it. Like, maybe when they thought of the idea that like they didn't know that he was gonna pass, like so I don't use that as like a reason of why it sucks. It's just a bad idea. Like,
yeah, But
why don't you make a Justice League game where we get to play as the Justice League?
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
play as the Suicide Squad killing the Justice League. What are you talking about?
Mhm.
Like
But-
we had all the Batman games. They were
Fun.
awesome. We did the tried to do the Gotham Knights thing that didn't really work. Like they should have just went into making a Justice League movie and then giving us, because that would have at least then given us at least a slice of that Superman gameplay, and that would have pleased people at least. Like you wouldn't have had backlash from that, I don't think.
You wouldn't have had as much as you wouldn't have had as much as what I think. And by the way, Randy says very few DC movies have made money since Zach left. And I mean, very few. Yeah, it was kind of funny. The same movies that a lot of these anti-fans defend, the creatives, whether or not you believe it or not, are very clear in saying, "Oh yeah, we were inspired by Zack Snyder." Hell, Superman and Lois, what they were like, "Yeah, we were very much inspired by Man of Steel."
By the way, Jared,
yeah,
do you remember the game we were discussing, the hypothetical game we were cooking on CLD last night?
Yeah, and
I want to talk about it with Sammy, get her thoughts on it.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Wait, what?
All right,
Wait, what?
so we were talking about, like, instead of Gotham Knights, they do another Arkham game. Basically, call it Batman Arkham War, and it's a mixture of war games and Battle for the Cowl. And it's kind of a similar setup to Gotham Knights, but it is directly set after Arkham Knight, and you basically have separate campaigns for different characters. Like you have a Nightwing campaign. Like you start with 3 characters. There's Nightwing, like Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Azrael. And it's 3 separate campaigns, same world. And then you can unlock a Catwoman campaign, maybe have Stephanie Brown as Batgirl, kind of thing. And it's basically like you choose who becomes Batman, kind of thing.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, like I said, it's a different. It's a combination of war games and Battle for the Cowl, kind of
Honestly,
thing.
here's the thing. That's what I thought Gotham Knights was gonna do, because when I was playing through the game, I was like, they were kind of setting it up that whatever character you play as turns into Batman, and I'm like, when it didn't happen, I was like, oh come on.
Yeah, because I think like this premise and kind of have a similar setup like to Arkham Knight, Gotham Knights. You know, like different characters. I think that would be a cool game.
That could definitely work. So all in all, going back to Kingsman, I think it was a mess sequel. Can't wait for our April Fool's Day stream, so that's gonna be fun. But so let's wrap this bad boy up. Brown says no movie made money except Batman or Aquaman 2 or Aquaman 1,
Joker.
but I see what you're saying there. Yeah, and Joker. Yeah, but it's kind of funny. It's stuff not connected to the shared universe that they tried to diverge away from Zach. And it's like when you look at BVS, it's kind of funny. This was my biggest gotcha moment that no one was that the person I was arguing with just left the conversation because he didn't have a refutation. So when someone so I was talking about how like Zach's interpretation actually made money and stuff, and they go, "Well, how'd that work out for you? Because BVS didn't make $1 billion." And I go, actually, adjusting for inflation, it did. So actually, it worked out very well for us.
Yeah, I mean, plus like they put every stock in the box office, but they forget that like BVS and Suicide Squad together helped to break records for Warner Brothers in the merchandising world in like 2016, and then it's also one of the most sold DVDs and Blu-rays I think that they ever produced.
And remember,
they're still making Snyder Cut merchandise. Like if they just want to bury it,
and it sells out instantly.
Yeah.
And do you know what doesn't sell out? The Suicide Squad merchandise, which gets
kind of
canceled.
funny. They were making
enough sales.
I think they were making like a Hot Toys or like a 1/6 scale Bloodsport figure. The company was going to crowdfund it, kind of like the way HasLab does it. They didn't even make the amount of money to crowdfund it.
Exactly, because nobody cares about that.
Yeah,
about that franchise.
And it's like, remember when the Snyder Cut came out on DVD and it was like sold out of so many different stores? I got lucky because I pre-ordered it from Amazon. But
and I bet you they underproduced that movie. I bet you they underproduced the DVDs and Blu-rays, and it only backfired on them because it turned into like sold out headlines.
Remember when the Snyder Cut launched on HBO Max and it crashed the site?
Yeah, exactly.
After
Which-
being leaked as Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, can I just say I love how this Kingsman
Freaking
stream turned into
amateurs.
Zack Snyder stream.
Yes, I know, but you know what? There's not much
I'm not
to talk
complaining,
about
mind
Film
you.
Circle. I'm never going to complain. You know
Nah.
what? We'll have
All roads lead back to Zach.
Well, yeah. You
Yeah.
can say this when hashtag full circle.
Especially when our queen is here.
Yeah. So you know
Oh
what?
yeah.
We'll
I
do
mean,
it.
it's in my name.
Another, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do another stream with Sammy about like more Zack Snyder stuff because of course because she's also a co-host of Comics League. So that
Yeah,
kinda
cool.
helps.
Like, I mean, we got Rebel Moon dropping in literally
Yes.
less than 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm really
I am
excited
so
about that.
hyped.
We could even go back and revisit like Rebel Moon Part 1. Maybe
Yeah,
do a
let's do
watch
it.
along for that before Part 2 or something. I'm down to.
Mhm.
I'm
And
down for all of that.
we're definitely going to do a rewatch. I mean, a watch along of all the extended cuts. So,
Oh yeah,
question-
absolutely.
Comics League question: why didn't the Blu-ray so I'm making money send a message to Warner Bros. People want more Zack Snyder DC? I have one clip that perfectly exemplifies this.
Yeah, second Warner Brothers.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. So that's my point. So Nick, where can one find you, and what have you got coming out on your channel?
All right. So, in a little over an hour, I'll be on my channel. I'll be getting back to Spider-Man. Jared will be joining us. Sammy, you're welcome to join us if you want. Going back
Thanks.
to you through Spider-Man Remastered, and
Cool.
Monday we got the next episode of Teen Titans. Which, by the way, episode 2 is actually doing surprisingly well. Thank
Yay!
you, everybody. And then we got my multiplayer stream with Goblin on Tuesday. Gonna be doing a Borderlands prequel. Friday Night Frenzy, and April 1st we're doing Gingercast 3, The Revenge of the Gingers.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, by the way, and Tevia, real quick, yeah, it made its money back, but the way that it works to be considered a profitable movie, it has to make double that because of the marketing. But anyway, so Sammy,
Yeah.
where can we find you, and what have you got coming out?
I mean, I'm just chilling on Twitter, to be honest. I don't really have too much stuff. I'm trying, like, I have edits that I'm working on that I really need to get finished. I've missed some deadlines for for like 300 anniversary.
Okay.
That was, well, I mean, that was like a week or two ago,
I think so.
but
yeah.
then also it came out in the UK today.
Mhm.
Like the 23rd. But yeah, I have to get some edits finished and get them published because I haven't done any in a while. I've been slacking, I'm not gonna lie.
It's all good. And then,
But yeah,
when
you can see my edits on my YouTube channel at the same name at Snyder Queen, and that's all for me, really.
Sweet. And then in terms of for me, next week for movie night, we will be covering the Justice League of America TV movie pilot thing. That was so horrible. And in terms of like Super Wonder Legacy, Britt and I are going to be covering the horrible Super Wonder book by Tomasi. And in terms of my commentary videos, we're going to be dealing with what people are we're going to be exposing the truth about Halo Season 2. So bear in mind for that. But anyway, stay heroic, everyone. We'll see you later. And remember,
Wonderbad.
Wonderbad!
Lois Lane is Lois Lame, and I'll see you later. Bye.
What?